Cold outreach. Ooh, it's scary for most of us to even think about having to do. But if you do it the right way, it can be very effective and not as bad as you think it is. All right, enjoy this episode. Hi, welcome to the Revolutionized podcast. I'm Rev Risty, your host, and I'm here today with Kathryn Nuñez, who is going to be talking to us about something I feel like a lot of us marketers are a little scared of, cold outreach. Ugh. Well, welcome, Kathryn. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much. Yes, it's a wonderful. It's what I eat for breakfast. Cold outreach. So
Oh
I'm
boy,
happy to
here
talk
we
about it.
go. Well, Kathryn, really quick, if you don't mind, for my audience, just tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Absolutely. So I'm the founder of an agency, and the name of that agency is the Social Selling Agency. And social selling is the art of finding, connecting, and engaging with your target market, both on and offline. So that's the background behind the name even of the company. And I've been in sales for quite some time, for over 30 years, and I've trained multiple teams in multiple languages in Latin America and Asia and the United States. So I have quite a deep history and experience in sales.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And I have a little bit of sales experience. I did, talking about cold outreach, I did Cutco knives. I sold
Oh,
those
nice.
somewhat door to door. You
Yes.
start out and you ask your mom to, can you call all her friends? And then you're doing demos. So I have a little bit of experience.
That's a culture. That actually would be something if I was looking at someone's resume, if I was still in corporate and hiring people, and they had Cutco knives experience, then I would know that they at least had this base of training where they had to get over themselves and actually get out there and do something to make it happen. So,
Oh yeah, yeah. It was a busy summer. It did not become a lifelong career, but oh, I love it. Well, jump into your topic
sure.
about how to do cold outreach and how to create that and personalize that. I'm interested to hear like how do you help somebody? Well, maybe not exactly me, but somebody who is a little scared or not wanting to do this, but it's so important.
It's absolutely critical because we're not the field of dreams where if we build it, they will come, right? And
What?
right, I'm sorry to break it to you. It's not
Oh,
that easy.
boo.
And there's different aspects of sales. There's inbound sales, there's outbound sales, and at some point you actually need to pick up the phone if you're selling a high ticket item and talk to someone. There's
Hmm.
different levels of conversation. There's discovery calls, there's enrollment calls, there's conversion calls. So there's so many different things. But primarily, I have helped entrepreneurs with their cold outreach, and a lot of
Okay.
people are fearful of cold outreach. Why don't you tell me what would be your guess for why would be afraid of cold outreach?
They're probably afraid that someone's going to get mad at them. Or,
Mad
yeah. Yep.
or hang
That's my
up
first thing. Yeah.
or reject,
Yep. Yep.
right? They said no. I did all this work and they said no. And so a lot of sales, as you would know, is mindset. So no doesn't mean no. No just means not right now. There wasn't a message. There wasn't a message match, or they're not quite ready on their journey to say yes. Or what can I do? So it's continuous optimization for cold outreach. And if you do it right, by the time you get that person on the phone, it's really not cold.
Yeah.
We call it cold, but it's really not. It's really not. There's many steps, 21 steps you could put in place.
Mm.
You've researched your target market. You know the pain that they're in.
Hmm.
You've done research on the person that you're going to talk to. You've looked at their LinkedIn profile. You've Googled their name. You've looked to see if they've been in the news. You see what their history is. You see if you have any connection with anything in their experience. And you can call it cyber stalking, whatever you want to. But by the time you're done understanding and building a case for this person you're going to speak to, you feel like you already know them.
Yeah.
And there's just different ways and different strategies that you can approach them versus, for example, on a LinkedIn, you connect with them and the next thing is, hey, you want to get on a 50-minute coffee chat or virtual latte? That's the connect and pitch method that won't win. It just won't win.
Yeah, I get so many messages via LinkedIn now. And some of them get my interest because you can tell they've done a little bit of homework. So using LinkedIn as an example, I know that's one of your specialties. How does someone take that first step to do a cold outreach? Like, what does that look like? What do they have to be thinking about?
Sure. When the formula that I use when I work with my clients, I have a whole team that builds lead lists. But if you're going to build your own lead lists, this is your value bombs here. I would take the past 10 customers that you've worked with, or that the past 10 customers you loved working with. And I would make sure to understand the industry, the title, how that decision was made to work with them so that you know what the sales process will look like in the future. And then you build an audience of those same people in the same industry. And it's not just one person. It depends on how big the companies are you're working in. But you need to find at least 2 or 3 decision makers because you're not sure who's going to champion you in to the company. And then start drafting customized LinkedIn messages to them after you research them. Like, hey, I noticed I love your LinkedIn picture. You have pink hair. I have pink hair. We're the pink hair team. We should have a conversation. I mean, that's way different than, hey, I'm building my network in the podcast industry, or I'm building my network in the marketing industry, right? It's a personalized outreach message. So A, build your lead list of who you want to go after. B, do your homework and find 2 things, not just one, because you're going to do another cold outreach. Find 2 things. One thing about their person that's of interest. One thing about the company that's of interest that your problem can solve, that your solution can solve. And then you just start connecting with them. Second, there's different strategies for the second connection message. There's different things you can do. There's voice notes. There's custom video. There's you can have a value-based education that you can send to them. So there's permission-based methods. I have a book that can tell you all these different things. Hey. So there's lots of ways to approach it, but I believe in quality over quantity.
Right. I love that.
Really finding the people that you want to work with and building your case, not just for them, but for yourself. So that by the time you get them on the phone, you've been all over everything and you actually have a conversation that you can deliver. Like, hey, let's get on the phone. I have 3 quick wins about how I was on your website and I clicked on your shopping page and I couldn't get back to your homepage because they're not connected. Like, that's a problem. Did you know that 30% of your traffic will be lost because there's a squirrel that ran across their desk? Some sort of value so that they're like, wow, yeah, let's talk. What else do you have? What else can you find?
Yeah. No, I like that. And it makes me think, there's tools now that you can layer on top of LinkedIn. I know there's LinkedIn Navigator, which I think is probably more manual. You have to reach out individually and create lists. But there's like Connected, I know is one. There's Octopus. There's all these tools that kind of help you mass or bunch
automation.
Like batch.
LinkedIn automation.
Yeah, automation.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think of those? Can you still have a personal message and do what you're saying using those types of tools?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
You can. Everyone should know about them, but use them wisely. You could scrape, I call scrape. You could do group, you could join a group, and then you could connect to people in a group, and you could have a customized message that says, hey, we're both in the group. I'd love to connect with you. So there's something similar. You could use automation to those people. There's automation that you could use for events. Hey, we both are registered for this event. I attended. I took judicious notes from the whole meeting. I'd love to share them with you. Were you able to make it? Would you like a copy?
Mm-hmm.
So those are ways that you can do large outreach that's customized to the situation or the event. That would be a way you could position using an automation tool.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Great. So it's funny you said like, oh, I'm trying to grow my podcast list or whatever it is. We get so many of those, and I'm amazed at how many people just jump right in. Hey, I sell this, and blah, you should buy it. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, it feels like, don't you just know the basic rules of how to outreach?
I'm here to help you. The painstaking, yes, it's painful. And so I'm so bad. I'll get cold emails even. And I'll find grammar mistakes or something that's totally off. And I correct it and I send it back to them. And I'll say, whoever's receiving this message, you should really hire my team, because I would never have let something like this go out. Or I'll, if they've done automation and I look and there's 25 messages and they throw up in those messages, right? It's not just a short, sweet thing. Then I'm like, whoever's doing your automation and writing your copywriting is just bad. And then I disconnect from them. Or I even compliment people. Like, this is one of the best messages I've seen forever. I don't want to do business with you, but I want to let you know that I got my attention. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And
I love that.
I keep a book of them. I screenshot them and keep them.
That's great. I love that. So maybe go into, I don't know if you have a good example of a recent client that you worked with that you helped them start this cold outreach, and what was their results?
Yes, I do it for all of my clients, do get cold outreach.
Of course.
So here's an interesting example. So I don't guess, I test. Right? I hear that, like, I pick up on that language from people. Like, I'm not sure what we should do. I'm like, no, we make data-driven decisions, and I make statistical decisions. If we go to automation, first I want to know that our messaging worked manually. And then I look at the connection difference. If there's a 1% connection increase over automation, why would you do it manually? Cost effectively, automation would work. But there was a client where we were doing testing cold email messages. Mm-hmm. And this is why personalization works. The person that we were reaching out to, when I looked at her LinkedIn profile, it was all corporate speak, right? But the very last sentence on her about section said, I'm an Orange Theory. When I'm not working, you'll find me at Orange Theory or snuggling up with my husband and my puppy.
Oh.
So then, yeah. So I had tested all these fancy headlines for this client. So the headline I chose for this particular person was, from one Orange Theory junkie to another. Right?
I love it.
And then my opening line was, I just rescued my puppy Sosa. I'd love to share doggy pictures with you. And while we're sharing, right? So then I got into why I was she responded. I might have sent 200 other messages in that day because I couldn't, with all my research, I couldn't find a hook. But when you can find a hook, somebody will respond. In that same campaign, somebody responded, and because I complimented him on something, and we were in this full conversation about how he used to be in TV in Nashville, and then he's like, let me go see if I can find an episode for you. I'm like, great, I'll be here waiting for you. And he goes, how do I know you? And I'm like, we've never met. So you're building rapport. Right now I have these stories. So these people are more likely to champion you in or take a phone call or tell you, no, we can't work with you because, versus just a delete or a spam or I don't want to work with you. So personalization, people, doesn't mean using a first name and a company. Personalization means really digging in and finding that this human has passions and hobbies and things that make them tick. Find out what those are and take some time to do some research on that and use that information in an authentic manner to make a genuine connection.
Oh, I love that.
Quality over quantity.
Quality over quantity. Got that, people? All right. Well, as we wrap up here, I know the quality of your work. What you have an offer for my audience to help them get started. What is that offer?
Yes. So what I'm offering is a no cost. I don't like to use the word free, right? A strategy session. And actually what it is I geek out. Like some people like to garden or whatever. I geek out on strategy. So bring your problem to me. Some problem that you're having in the sales and marketing realm. Bring it to me. You have a form to fill out, and then we will come up with a strategy to overcome that obstacle. It might be a flat revenue. It might be a conversion problem. It might be all I'm doing is connecting and spamming. You just made me realize that. What else can I do? So I will use all of the tools at my fingertips to help you come up with a strat. I'm a huge resource. All I do is look at tools and tech and ways to automate and how to make systems smoother and faster, so that as humans we could be more efficient. I'll help you. At the end of that 30 sessions, you will have support.
Thank you. Yes. So 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Sorry. Yeah.
Well, and just in our 15 minutes, I've learned so much. So I really, really appreciate your time, Kathryn. And I look forward to checking out your book. I want to find out more about
yes.
that.
The LinkedIn playbook. It's a workbook. So it has all the messaging templates that I'm talking about. And it helps you develop your unique value proposition. And it's downloadable on my website.
Oh, awesome. All right, I'll check it out. All right, everybody. So if you want to revolutionize your marketing, your messaging, your content, you need to give us a call. Doing things like this, our podcast, having amazing guests like Kathryn, all of these things are parts of an integrated marketing program that you have to be thinking about, personalizing, authenticity, all that fun stuff. So we'd love to help you with it at REBL, and we'll put all this information and connections in our show notes for you. And thank you for your time.